I'm waiting for your confirmations, please, so that I can go ahead and start. So please let me know if you can hear me loud and clear, if you can see me, and if you can also see my screen. So I can know that everything is okay. You can use the chat to confirm so I can proceed. Okay, thank you, Aina Tongo. Okay, so let's begin. So this is a special informative live session. After the webinar, it's my desire to keep giving you value and to keep teaching you how your body works as a hypertensive patient, okay? So today is quite special because we're going to talk about 3 different things. So we're going to talk about some foods that you can eat to help you lower your blood pressure. We're also going to talk about the most natural way for you to reduce your blood pressure. And we're also going to talk about egg yolks and coconuts because I got that question from my group 1 a while ago, to find out if egg yolk is good for hypertensive patients and also if coconuts is good for you to take, okay? So I'm going to try my best to keep this as short and concise as possible. And I hope that I can keep you engaged because I literally just did a full session on this only to find out that, wow, nobody heard me, nobody saw me. So I have to repeat this all over again, okay? So if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. And, as I go by, I would get to them. All right, so let's begin straight up. If you don't know who I am, my name is Rita. So I'm a medical student and I'm also a wellness consultant, okay? So section 1, 9 best foods that you can eat to lower your blood pressure. So the first is garlic, okay? Now, garlic has the ability to lower your blood pressure because it contains a component that we call allicin. Now, allicin kind of mimics your antihypertensive drugs by inhibiting what we call angiotensin. Now, angiotensin is an enzyme that constricts your blood vessels, okay? It makes them, it makes the width thinner, okay? So what your hypertensive drugs can do for you is that they can help to, widen your blood vessel a little bit so that blood can then, flow through easily. Now, garlic, on the other hand, has the potential to do this thing that your antihypertensive drugs do for you, okay? So it's what we call a vasodilator, okay? It relaxes your blood vessels, and when your blood vessels are relaxed, they have more space to flow through, and your blood pressure would automatically decrease, okay? So garlic can act as a powerful vasodilator, and you can add it into your salads and stews. My mom usually grates it and she adds it to our stew. So as you're taking rice and stew, yam and stew, it's already, one of the ingredients, okay? And sometimes as I'm preparing my dad's salads, I use it as a dressing. So I use the garlic and I mix it with the vinegar, and before, I put it into the vegetables, okay? So these are just some of the ways that you can incorporate garlic into your diets, okay? I would advise that you just take it just like that. I would advise that you add it to something, before you then consume it, okay? So let's move on. Number 2 is ginger. Now, ginger can help to normalize your blood pressure. And the compounds that are found in ginger, specifically gingerol, it's a very, very good antioxidant. If you've been with me from day 1, I've spoken about antioxidants and oxidative stress, okay? Now, antioxidants help to fight against oxidative stress and free radicals, which are some of the things that cause you to have high blood pressure, okay? So it's a very good source of antioxidants. It helps to fight inflammation. That's like body pains or your cells basically getting weaker, okay? And it can also help to suppress platelets formation. Now, in the first webinar that I held, there is a video that I showed as your plaque erupts, it forms a blood clot because your blood is basically trying to close up that area, and your platelets would form in that specific area, and they will also kind of obstruct blood flow. Okay, so ginger can help suppress that platelets formation. Okay, I hope that we understand. And it can also help to reduce cholesterol. Okay, so please ask me your questions anytime you want to. I will get to them as soon as I see them in the chats. All right, so one of these compounds, like I've mentioned, gingerol, is also currently being studied by pharmaceutical companies, you know, to help you with your high blood pressure medication so that they don't come with as much side effects as they do now. Okay, so again, you can add them in your stews and your salads, just like the way you add your garlic. Just like the way I said, you can add your garlic in your diets. Okay, so the next food we have is beets. Now, beets are also a very good source of antioxidants, and they are also very good in supplying you with magnesium, potassium, and nitrates. Now, there was a, should I call it a short talk? Not really a talk, but a write-up that okay, NEPA has done their best. But let me just continue until the power goes back on. So there was a talk that I did. It was basically some minerals that you have to incorporate as you are trying to reduce your BP. And we talked about reduction in your sodium, but it's not just about reducing your sodium anymore. You also have to increase your magnesium and your potassium. Now, if you are able to increase your magnesium and your potassium and also reduce your sodium, do you know that it has the exact same effects as your BP medications? So if somehow you get around your eating or your dieting pattern, and you are able to have a very good increase in your magnesium and potassium, and also a decrease in your sodium intake, it's the exact same effects as your BP meds. We call that combination approach. Okay, so as we are talking about, reduce your sodium, let's also talk about increase your magnesium and increase your potassium. Okay, now this, you can find magnesium and potassium in beets. Okay, you can also find some nitrates, which your body will convert into what we call nitric oxide. Now, nitric oxide is going to help to dilate your blood vessels as well. So it's also a vasodilator. Okay, the word vasal basically meaning vessel. Okay, now study shows that older adults who drink beet juice for about a month reduce their systolic and diastolic by 6 and 4 millimeter per mercury respectively. Okay, now how do you consume beets? You can actually take this and extract the juice as a smoothie. You can drink it as a smoothie, or you can chop it and add it in your salads. Okay, so you can find this in your supermarkets, in your stores. You can check Jumia or Konga. You know, you can basically find them. So maybe you can just Google, where can I find beets in Nigeria? Okay, and I'm sure you'll find something. All right, so let's keep moving. The next is spinach. Now, spinach is able to reduce your blood pressure because it contains a good source of nitrates. And your body converts nitrates into nitric oxide, which will help to dilate your blood vessels. Okay, so nitrates are the best form of vasodilators that we have. Okay, so any foods that contain nitrates, they are good for you as a hypertensive patient. You see, if you can dilate your blood vessels, your blood has more space to flow. Like that obstruction of plaque is no longer there. If you can recall plaque from my first webinar, okay, that I held, if you are able to somehow dilate your blood vessels, it would greatly improve your blood flow. And if your blood flow is improved, your BP automatically decreases. It's kind of like a cause and effect thing. Okay, so spinach is a very good source as well of nitrates. Okay, now let's move on. Number 5, we have pomegranates. They are also a very colorful food that can help to lower your BP. Now, researchers have found that pomegranate juice, so you can also extract the juice the same way you also extract your beets juice into a smoothie kind of form, okay? Now, researchers have found that pomegranate juice can reduce hypertension by inhibiting serum ACE activity. Now, ACE simply means angiotensin converting enzyme, okay? ACE, angiotensin converting enzyme. Now, angiotensin is a hormone that constricts your blood vessel, okay? It makes it stiff and it reduces the width of your blood vessel. Now, your hypertensive medications, what it does for you is that it can help to inhibit that angiotensin, from constricting your blood vessels and obstructing your blood flow. That's one of the way your BP meds work, okay? Now, pomegranates, on the other hand, are like a natural way of doing that without having to, use your BP medications, okay? And by inhibiting this ACE activity, by inhibiting this angiotensin, your systolic blood pressure can reduce by an average of 5 millimeter and your diastolic by an average of 2 millimeter per mercury, okay? So basically, these fruits do almost what your BP drugs do for you, okay? So let's move on. They are like natural ways for you to reduce your blood pressure. All right. Now, number 6, we have oats. Now, oats can reduce your BP basically through their very good sources of fiber. Now, in the medical field, we don't really know what exactly fiber does or what exactly fiber contains that causes it to have a very direct relationship in helping you reduce your BP, okay? It's still kind of like a mystery to us, but what we know is that it's very good for you, okay? Now, adding whole grain oatmeal to your diet can drop your systolic BP by 7.5 and your diastolic by 5.5 in 6 weeks. So that is adding oatmeal to your meal daily, okay? Now, I found this study very interesting. A larger 2021, that is basically last year, they had an experiment and they had a group of 2 people, okay? So we had an increase in oats, and if you can't have an increase in oats, they basically supplemented their diets with oats bran, okay? Now, compared to those who did not supplement theirs, those who did supplement theirs and had an increase in oats intake, they recorded a reduce in their blood pressure, okay, to the point that their antihypertensive medications dosage was reduced, okay? Now, as you are using your wellness packs, you would notice that your BP reduces as it continues to reduce over a period of time. Now, when you realize that, you can go to your doctor and tell them, okay, I've been on these supplements for a while and I've seen good changes in my BP. They can then reduce your dosage of your hypertensive medications, okay? So they can tell you, okay, instead of taking your BP drugs daily, you can now take them once a week or once in 2 days, once in 3 days. That's basically what we mean by a reduction in your antihypertensive dosage, okay? So they found out that this group that supplemented theirs, that had basically an increase in oats, which is basically an increase in dietary fiber, okay? Their blood pressure reduced significantly to the point where they had a decrease in their BP medications, okay, in the dosage of their BP meds. All right, so I hope that this is clear. So let's keep moving. The next food we have is watermelon. Now, watermelon basically contains a good source of amino acids, all right? And amino acids, like I've said earlier, it helps your heart, and their watermelon is also a good source of some antioxidants. So astaxanthin is not the only antioxidant that we have. We have carotenoids, we have beta carotene, we have vitamin A, vitamin C, CoQ10. It's just that astaxanthin happens to be the most powerful of all antioxidants, okay? However, the issue with the benefits of antioxidants is that it helps to stop your free radical formation, okay? And free radicals do a lot to your system. They can decrease your immunity. They even promote the production of plaque, okay? So an intake in antioxidants or sources of antioxidants like carotenoids, which is found in watermelon, can help to support your cardiovascular health. Cardio meaning heart, your vascular meaning blood vessels, okay? So it can help to improve both your heart and your blood vessel functioning, all right? So this is how watermelon helps you. The point of this is basically telling you what each food contains and how they help you, okay? And also how they tend to, should I say, mirror your BP medications, okay? So we have watermelon, a good source of amino acids and antioxidants, okay? The next thing is bilberries. Now, bilberries have the potential to make your arteries supple. That is, it makes them less stiff. And it also contains a higher level of nitric oxide. Remember nitrate, like I've been mentioning earlier, a good vasodilator, okay? Now, bilberries are actually one of the secrets to our wellness packs because the astaxanthin in our wellness packs is not just astaxanthin only, but astaxanthin and bilberry extracts, okay? So it's kind of like they extracted the most powerful things about bilberries, okay, and made them available to you with astaxanthin in just one pill, okay? So it's a very powerful source of antioxidants, which can boost your immune system and also heal, that is, help to deplete that plaque formation, which is the major source of our hypertension, okay? So as your blood vessels are working on every other thing except that depletion of plaque, the only way that you can actually deplete plaque is to fix up your dietary and your lifestyle habits, okay? So as your BP drugs are helping to reduce your blood volume and vasodilate your vessels and working in every other place except the root cause, your dietary habits and your lifestyle changes are what is going to help you target your hypertension from the roots, okay? So let's move on. The final food that I have for you is flax seeds. Now, so far, as much as dieting is concerned, flax seeds have the most potential to reduce your BP more than any other food that we know as it is currently. If it changes, I'll let you know. But as of now, flax seeds are the best foods that you can eat to reduce your blood pressure naturally, okay? So you take about 30 grams a day, you grind them, and you can add them, as you are eating your rice, or you can take them with different kind of sauces like stews or soups, okay? Now, they can help to reduce your systolic by 10 millimeter per mercury and your diastolic by 7 millimeter per mercury. And it's also a good source of antioxidants. And if you want to know where you can find them, you can just Google, where can I find flax seeds in Nigeria? One place you can find them is on Jumia. If you may not find them in your local supermarkets and stores around you, but you can definitely order online, okay? So this is for the first part. Let me check the chats, see if I have any questions. No questions, okay. So this is for section 1. Let's just have a recap. So first we had garlic, next we had ginger and beets. We have spinach and pomegranates and oats, watermelons, bilberries or blueberries, and we have flax seeds, okay? So that rounds it up for section 1. Now let's move over to section 2. Are egg yolks and coconuts good for you? Now in my group 1, we had this question on if egg yolks are good for you. So I gave my dad's vegetable salad, and a question was asked, do I eat the egg with the egg yolk? And, I had some contributions as well that egg yolks are not good for hypertensive patients because they contain cholesterol. So I said, okay, I was going to do my research and, get back to all of you on that. So I'm going to answer this question today. Are egg yolks good for you? And also coconuts as well. They contain saturated fats. So a question was also raised on if coconuts are good for you as a hypertensive patient. I'm going to answer that right now. So let's start with egg yolk. Is egg yolk good for you? Or should I say, egg yolks are bad because they contain cholesterol? Is this true or false? Well, research showed that most of the cholesterol is made by our liver, and most of them are not delivered through our diets. Now, they are, or should I say, they can be delivered through your diet. Your diet also matters. However, the kind of cholesterol that is bad for you as a hypertensive patient that you are banned from eating is what we call saturated and trans fats, okay? Now, eggs contain healthy nutrients. I know the egg whites contains healthy nutrients, and the egg yolks can contain vitamins A and D, as well as protein. I may be mixing this up. I'm not sure which exactly has vitamin A and D and which one has protein, but in your egg whites and in your egg yolk, one contains vitamins A and D, and the other contains a good source of protein, okay? Now, concerning egg yolk, there is no direct relationship between an increase in consumption of egg yolk and an increase in BP. So if you happen to eat an egg yolk today, you would not necessarily notice either an increase or a decrease in your blood pressure, because even if we say that eggs contain cholesterol, they don't contain bad cholesterol. As you may know, cholesterol has two types now, both good and bad. We call them HDL and LDL, okay? So we can say eggs contain the good kinds of cholesterol, and most of your cholesterol that we complain of, it's produced by your liver and not necessarily delivered through your diets. But that doesn't mean that you should now eat any and everything that contains cholesterol simply because you're thinking that that you won't have an increase in cholesterol from your diet. You would, because your liver would convert it into bad cholesterol. Okay, so egg yolk, you can eat it. Okay, there is no direct relationship between it and your BP increase or decrease. Okay, I think I have answered this question. So let's move over to coconuts. So you can actually eat coconuts. The issue with coconuts is they already contain saturated fats. Okay, now if you extract coconut oil, that's where most of the problem can be. Not necessarily when you eat coconuts, because if you eat them, nothing, you won't really get that source of, bad fats. Okay, that's HDL. Okay, but if you begin to extract things from coconuts, like coconut oil, okay, that can potentially increase your cholesterol levels, other than if you choose other plant-based oils like canola and olive oil. Those are very good for you. Those are heart-healthy oils that you can use, okay? But however, you can actually eat your coconuts, okay? But if you see that when you eat a coconut, depending on your blood group, your preferences, and also your level of hypertension, if you see that if you eat it and it's not good for you, my best advice to you is to stop. Now, what do I mean by your level of hypertension? Some people just have elevated BP, and you don't need drugs for that, okay? You just have to watch your stress level and eat properly. So if your BP happens to fall within 130, 139, that's basically elevated blood pressure, okay? Now, if your BP is 130 to like 140, we call that stage 1 hypertension, okay? And if your BP grows from 140 to 160 and above, okay, we can call that stage 2 hypertension. That's where you have to rely greatly on your drugs to help you, okay? So depending on your blood group, depending on your preferences, and also your level of hypertension, okay? If you feel that coconuts increases like your heart palpitations, it makes your heart run a little bit faster, you don't like eating coconuts, you can stop them. But I would not generalize coconuts as being bad for you, okay? I have something in the chat. Coconut milk is fine. As much as I know, it's fine, okay? Most of the issue comes from coconut oil, okay? However, if you'd like me to research on coconut milk and coconut oil, I can also do that and get back to you later on, okay? But as much as my knowledge is right now, coconut milk is fine for you, okay? So let's move on. So the last section is basically a new discovery that I found, because I'm also increasing in knowledge, and as I have all of you who are interested in reducing your blood pressure, I also have to research on some things that can help you out on this journey, to reversing hypertension. Okay. So I found out that there's a natural means for you to actually reduce your BP without having to take pills or supplements or, being so strict and structured with your dieting pattern. Okay. So let's find out what that is. It's sleep. Okay. Now, research shows that those who sleep properly, that is, you sleep on your side and you also breathe through your noses. So if you are someone who snores a lot or you happen to breathe through your mouth a lot, you may have to start thinking of ways that you can stop doing that. Okay. And research also showed that those people who have a 30 to 60 minutes nap in the afternoon can significantly reduce their blood pressure. Okay. Your body works its best at night and when you are at rest or anytime that you happen to fall asleep. Okay. That's when even your supplements also can do what they are supposed to do. Okay. And also your liver as well with conversions and everything. Okay. So the more sleep you are able to get, the better for you. Okay. Oops, sorry. I skipped through. The more sleep you are able to get, the better for you. Okay. Now, stress is also one of the things that cause BP that we don't often talk about. And as a Nigerian or someone who is in the working class, if you have a very high stress level, chances are you are going to be hypertensive. You are going to have elevated blood pressure. Okay. Now, the thing about stress is we may not always be able to manage it. Okay. Because sometimes we don't have people that we can outsource to. Like one of my best advice to you, if you want to reduce your stress, is to outsource to someone else, tell someone to handle certain things for you so you don't have to do it all on your own. But what happens if you don't have such people around, okay? There are two ways you can do that. You can either increase your energy or you can sleep better, okay? So one of the most natural means for you to reduce your BP is to have increase your sleep, okay? And also try to reduce your stress, okay? Now, one of the ways that wellness can help you is to help you sleep better, specifically because of astaxanthin and also your multivitamins as well. Now, food is what fuels you. If you don't eat, your body basically runs on nutrients, okay? Now, that multivitamin in the wellness pack can actually help you with vitamin D, basically vitamin D supplementation to help you sleep better. And then astaxanthin, on the other hand, to help you heal your cells and basically give you more energy. Okay. Now let's keep moving. Let's take some quick reviews on how wellness can help you increase your energy level so that you can battle the stressful things of your day. Okay. Now, Glory says the wellness supplement is amazing. I took my second dose yesterday. I didn't get enough sleep last night because I had things to do. Normally, I'll wake up in the morning feeling all fuzzy and feeling lightheaded, but that was not the case. I was just wild 2 doses. So for Glory, she had an increase in energy despite not having enough sleep at night due to the things that she was doing, okay? I would advise that you actually try to get enough sleep and not allow things, take away your sleeping time, okay? But if you can't, then you can use the wellness pack to give you that burst of energy that you need, okay? Now, this person says, let me show you what I was doing on Saturday. I played for 50 minutes. Wow. Okay, so this is also one of the people showing that with the wellness pack, you can actually have that increase in energy to play football or soccer for 50 minutes or thereabouts. Okay, now let's also take this personal review. Mr. Stanley is one of the people who I've worked with personally, and his issue basically was insomnia. He wasn't sleeping properly. So I recommended the wellness pack to him, and he takes it every morning. Okay. And then you can take your drugs at night. Okay. Now this would help you sleep better. And he was keeping me updated on, his journey as he was taking 1 sachet per day. And then he told me that he had another much improvement that day. And then I asked about his sleep, that was what he was most concerned about. And he told me that he had been having good sleep, sound sleep for about 3 days. And once he sleeps, to wake up again is about 6 a.m. So instead of sleeping and then you wake up at 1, you wake up at 3, you wake up at 5, have a good sleep. Don't be waking up, at different intervals of the night to, do one or two things, or to go use the restroom. And then when you come back from the restroom, you're unable to sleep again. Okay. So the wellness pack can help you with your sleep pattern. All right. Now, the next thing is, this person says, is the energy for me. Working out is so much easier. I have so much energy. I'm never out of breath like before. After some rigorous sets of exercise, it's amazing. And this last review that I have to share, this customer says, it's been okay, better sleep, renewed strength. I can see and feel the impact. So far, I am great. Okay. So the point of this section basically is that you can use sleep as one of the most natural means for you to reduce your BP and your stress reduction. Okay. And if you have a problem sleeping, or if you have a problem with stress, you can get the wellness pack to help you with that. Your stress level, basically by increasing your energy and also giving you better sleep via the multivitamin and the antioxidants, which is astaxanthin. Okay, so this is basically the end of today's live session. I will take questions now if you do have any. If not, then we're going to simply call it a day. Okay, so do we have any questions? Anything regarding anything. If you have questions concerning the wellness pack, if you have questions concerning the talk today, you can also mention that. Okay. Mrs. Modupe says, my BP drugs makes me urinate often. Any day I use it and it affects your sleep. That can be one of the side effects. That can be one of the side effects of your medications. If you have been hypertensive for a while. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily mean that something is wrong with your system. Okay. Sometimes drugs do come with side effects. That's one of the things that we may have to deal with. Okay. But I would love to know how the wellness pack helps you, because I know that you are also on wellness supplements. So I would also love some feedback to know if the wellness supplements are actually helping you, sleep better, and if you have an improvement in your health. Okay, so far. All right, so that's for that. I want to know if there are any other questions, because I'm pretty tired from doing this twice. Mr. George says, can someone who survived a partial stroke outgrow hypertension on the long run? Yes. You see, before you may have met me, you may have thought that hypertension is like your, should I say, it's your death sentence. But my unique perspective is that you can actually reverse your hypertension. So the answer to that question is yes. My dad also suffered a partial stroke. Okay, and he's no longer hypertensive as it is today. Okay. However, I do like the note on the long run, because hypertension is a result of decades of improper dieting and lifestyle. Okay, so it needs a while to outgrow it or to completely reverse it. Okay, so it's not something that happens in 2 weeks or in 3 months even. Okay, so emphasis on that long run. But the answer to your question, if someone who has suffered a partial stroke can outgrow hypertension, the answer is yes. I do not believe that anyone is doomed to this. Okay, if you can be structured in your dieting plan, and if you can't do that, if wellness packs can also help you diet-wise and also improve your lifestyle. Try to exercise, try to reduce your stress level. Okay, you would outgrow it. All right, I don't believe that it's something you have to deal with for the rest of your life. Okay, some people have their hands raised. I don't know if you have questions or if you want to unmute Mr. Chris and Mrs. Adoma. Or if it's just a mistake, sort of. If you have questions, please type it so that I can read. And if you want me to unmute you, just let me know in the chat as well, and I'll do that. And if there are no more questions, we can call it a night so we can go to bed. Okay, someone asked, what about breastfeeding mothers that wake up 4 to 5 times every night to feed their babies? That's completely normal. I don't think anything is wrong with that. I don't quite get the question. For breastfeeding moms, do you want to sleep better, or if your baby is crying, then you have to wake up? Okay, so I don't see how that is like a health problem. Okay, I guess it's just natural, you know, with you and your baby, you being a breastfeeding mother. So if you wake up about 2 to 3 times every night to feed your baby because they're hungry, yeah, that's okay. That's normal to me. Or is there something else you are trying to ask? So I can be sure. Then someone, oh, Mr. George says again, how many packs of Wellness Oriflame can someone who has partial stroke take on the long run? Kindly give an estimate on the pack. If you are still battling with your stroke, okay, I don't know if it's you or it's someone else, but if whoever it is in question is still battling with stroke, I would not even advise that you get wellness for yourself yet. I would advise that you are done with your stroke treatment first and even wait for about a period of a month before I can then give my go ahead and say, begin your wellness supplements, okay? Because I'm trying to also avoid overdose, because you might also be on like medications as well for stroke, right? So if the person is still treating their stroke, I wouldn't recommend that you take wellness immediately or as you are under treatment, okay? Now, if you are done with your treatment of stroke, the estimates of the packs that I can give you, for starters, I would say 5 to 6 packs to meet up that 12 to 16 weeks that it takes for you to see a very good decrease, or should I say stabilization of your blood pressure, okay? However, as a stroke patient or someone who has suffered a stroke in the past, maybe it's what do I call it? There are many different types of strokes, okay? It may take longer for you other than, someone who hasn't suffered a stroke, or someone who is just, dealing with stage 2 hypertension, if I should put it that way, okay? So I would say for starters, start with about 5 to 6 packs, not immediately though, just 1 sachet per day. You should see a very good improvement, okay, in your blood pressure, all right? However, in regards to the person's past medical history, it may take longer periods to heal, like for complete healing, okay, so that that person doesn't suffer a stroke again. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. I hope that I'm clear on that. But for an estimate, it basically takes 12 to 16 weeks, which would equate to 5 to 6 packs of wellness. All right. Does it affect BP? Okay, so that's the breastfeeding question. I don't see how it would affect your blood pressure. Unless if you're just, lacking sleep, well, you can make up for your sleep during the day if you can. Okay? But the answer to that is no. If you're a breastfeeding mother and, for a period of time you don't sleep well, it doesn't mean that you will develop high blood pressure. Okay? All right. Any more questions, or should we call it a night? Still waiting if you do have any questions. Oh, okay. Mrs. Modupe, how do our blood group affect what we eat? Or how do we know what our blood group cannot accommodate? That's a very good question. And it was someone that actually brought this to my notice that, hey, your blood group can actually affect your eating habits. And she sent me a book to study, and I'm not done studying that book. Okay. So as it is now, I'm not able to give you complete information as to how our blood group affects our dieting. Okay. But definitely I will do that in the weeks to come. Okay. When I'm done studying the book, then I can give you, a good explanation as to how your blood group can affect your eating habits. And also, if you'd like me to send it to you, there's no problem. I can do that. And by that time, I'll also be able to answer, what your blood group can accommodate or not. Perhaps that would be like a separate training, afterwards as well. Okay. So I have to increase my knowledge in that area first before I then give you what you need to know. Okay. Is cucumber good for blood pressure? Cucumber. I don't see any reason why it should be bad for blood pressure, but I also don't know if there is a relationship, just like the other foods that we treated today back in section 1, like all these other foods. I don't know how much cucumber can affect, your blood pressure. So it's also something I have to research on and get back to you on. Okay. Can it be eaten after taking the wellness pack? You can eat whatever it is you want to eat after taking your wellness supplements. But please take your supplements while eating. Sorry, after eating. Okay. So maybe after your breakfast, you can take it. After your lunch, you can take it. After your dinner, you can take it. Okay. However, wellness doesn't restrict you from eating certain foods. So the answer to that question is yes. You can take your cucumber after taking your wellness pack. Okay. I don't see anything that should be wrong with that or how that can be potentially harmful to you. Okay. So let me just make a note before I end this meeting and this clears. To get back to Mrs. Modupe on blood group. Okay, I'm still waiting for more questions. If not, let's call this a night. Cucumber lowers your blood pressure. Oh, really? That's why you're asking. If something is good for you, if you see that something is good for you, okay, you can continue to do that. All right. Just like someone told me that coconut increases her BP. Okay. If you, with your own personal discretion, see that, oh, this certain foods increase or lower my BP, then do as your body is telling you to do. Okay. As I've already said, I will get back to you all on this issue of blood group and your nutrients. I will definitely get back to all of you on that. Okay. So if it lowers your BP, great. Okay. Any more? Any more? Okay, I think I am pretty worn out now. Someone who has GRD. Remember I said I will get back to you on the group, Mrs. Adoma. So don't worry about it. When I log off of this meeting, I know you have a question pending for me. So I would get back to you on that. But I don't quite understand the question. If someone has GERD, then what question exactly follows this? If cucumber is good for someone who has GERD, is that what you're asking? But concerning your question, if it's the same as the question you asked on the group, I will definitely get back to you before I go to bed. Any more questions? Let me stop sharing my screen. Do we have any more questions, please? Okay, I just see some in the chat now. What's GERD? It's basically, it's a reflux disease. Yeah, if I'm being correct. It basically affects the stomach and the esophagus. So it's like, you know, when you eat, food is not basically meant to go back into your esophagus. But those who have GERD, for some reason, that sphincter that blocks the stomach and the esophagus opens up again, and they have a reflux of food or stomach acid back into their esophagus, and it causes them to have, you know, some form of heartburn, okay, or something like that. And it can also irritate the lining of one's esophagus, okay? So it's basically a disease affecting the stomach and the esophagus, okay? Yes, GERD can make your BP to go up. Okay, it's possible. And Mr. Augustine says, I noticed that I don't sleep anymore since I started taking the wellness. It affects sleep. When do you take your wellness pack? If you take it at night and you take your BP meds in the morning, you will have to switch it. Start taking your supplements in the morning while you take your breakfast, and you can take your BP medications anytime 5 hours after that. And then get back to me on if you are not sleeping properly. You see, sometimes when you begin taking the wellness pack, okay, they are quite powerful because of astaxanthin, okay? It's like you have that energy. It's like you have that energy and you are like awake, you know, up to when you are not supposed to be awake, okay? So the basic thing now is to just switch it. If you are taking your wellness pack in the night and it gives you so much energy that it keeps you up at night, then take it in the morning instead, okay? And then take your BP meds 5 hours after you take your supplements, and you will be able to sleep better, okay? I remember, I think 2 people had that same issue, and then when they switched theirs, they were fine. That's 2 of my personal clients that came in exactly the same way you came in, you know, with the webinar, and you bought the wellness pack and everything. So it's not a problem, just switch it. It basically just, I think it will help reserve that energy for the morning and afternoon times. You know, at nighttime, you should be able to sleep better, okay? So that's not a problem, but thank you for letting me know. Solution is just to switch that, okay? Any more questions? It's almost 9. And your wellness consultant is getting tired. So I would have to log off now so I can get my rest, okay? My voice is even beginning to crack a little bit. So I sincerely appreciate all of you, joining me live. Okay. I know with the first one, the audio was making one funny sound. I don't even know, but at least I had the energy to do it again. So, Fatima says, what advice do you have for a person who is afraid of going to the hospital? Well, sometimes I usually tell myself, because as I'm studying to be a medical doctor, I always ask myself, okay, what am I going to do to my patients to make them less afraid? Well, I think you just have to know that doctors want the best for you. Okay. And you being there is for you to seek help, not necessarily that you are going to get a bad result. Okay. So if it happens and the reports of your checkup or the reason why you are in the hospital is not a good one, then I'm sure that they would do their best to make sure that you recover. Okay. It's the reason why I would be spending an additional 4 years, because I'm currently in year 3, so I have 4 years to go to get this degree, so just know that the people there they have your best interests at heart. Okay. You said some doctors are not friendly. There is this course that I took, it's called narrative medicine, and having to listen to people for a very long period of time, I got to listen to some doctors, and they were saying that they have to listen to people's problems as they come in. So you can see like 20 to 25 patients in a day, and you are hearing different problems. It can actually take a toll on you and, wear you out. Okay. So some people would react to that by, telling you things in a way that they are not supposed to tell you. Okay. However, I cannot change the personality of those people. I think I am taught to be patient and to be accommodating. Okay. So if some people are not friendly to you, maybe you should consider switching hospitals, or maybe switching primary care doctors. Okay. To help you out. But on the side note, just know that the people there are trying, they have your best interests at heart. Okay. Yeah. So if you'd like to speak more on this, Mrs. Fatima, you can message me. I think everyone should have my number by now. Yeah. So some people are just joining us. This session has ended. I will make the replay available when I can. All right. So I'm sorry you missed it, but I would put up the replay before I go to bed tonight. All right. So thank you for joining me for this one. I'm very grateful for all of you. I'm grateful that I get to, educate you. And I'm also grateful that you are here and that you give me a listening ear and you attend my events and you support me. I'm very grateful for that. Yeah. Even though Oriflame is a very big company on its own, this is kind of still my small business. And even though you are getting your wellness pack for yourself, you are also telling me that, hey, what you are doing is worthwhile and it matters. Yeah. So I appreciate your support. I appreciate you being here. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because if you're not here, then I'll just be speaking to myself, right? I won't have anyone to talk to. Neither will I have anyone to help. Okay. As much as I can at my age. Can anyone guess my age? I was actually speaking to my mom the other day. I was like, do these people know how old you are? Can anyone take a wild guess at my age? I probably wouldn't. No, I'm not 28. I probably wouldn't tell you my age. I wouldn't scare anyone off to be like, How can you know all these at your age? Are you sure you're actually this age? But no, I'm actually not 28. And I'm not going to reveal it either. But I'd love to see your guesses. 23, 24, no? No. Okay, let me just tell you, I'm not even up to my 20s yet. 18, no, I'm not 18. So anything above 20, like I'm not even there yet. No, I'm not 18. Okay, I don't want people to get too close. So let's just end it at this. Thank you for joining me live, and I'll see you again sometime soon. Okay, so bye. Enjoy your Sunday tomorrow. Have a good night's sleep.